Cheyenne. Welcome to Cheyenne Reads, and today I'm going to be doing a February and March wrap up. I read 4 books in February and 4 books in March, so I thought why not combine both of these videos together, and I asked some people on Twitter and they were like, yeah, do both of them together. So in February I read The Death of Vivek Oji by Akwaeke Emezi, and I did do a vlog for this, so if you want to hear more about it, check out that vlog. I remember enjoying the book, like enjoying the writing of the book, but the premise of the book was very sad, and I don't know, I didn't know what to expect going into it, but I saw a lot of people reading it and a lot of people talking about it, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to pick this up. I had already checked it out from the library, and then I saw someone on YouTube talking about it, well, multiple people talking about it, and I was like, okay, let's just read this. And it was a pretty quick read, very emotional, very deep. Loved it. Then I also read Daisy Jones and the Six. I think it's by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I listened to the audiobook of this, and I deeply, deeply, deeply love this book. Like, the audiobook was so good. I enjoyed hearing the different band members, because I don't know if you've heard, but Daisy Jones and the Six is about this popular, well-known band, like back in the 90s or something like that, or the 70s. I'm really not sure about the time frame, but we followed each band member, and obviously my favorite character to get to know was Daisy, and I loved hearing about everyone else's perspective about her and her life and just things that went on with it. And I'm just so excited that I finally picked that book up after putting it off forever. And if you want to read that book, I would definitely recommend listening to the audiobook. Like, it was like a full experience. And I also picked up ACOMAF, A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas. And out of the series that I've read A Court I'm getting ahead of myself. You'll hear what I've read in the series, but out of the series, besides A Court of Silver Flames, because I haven't read that, I plan on reading that this month, I really enjoyed A Court of Mist and Fury. And not only did I like it more than ACOTAR, just everything about it, like the romance with Feyre and Rhysand, all the scenes, just, I don't know, I remember like flying through this book because it was really close to home. Like, I'm not a Tamlin stan, and if you are, like, that's cool, but when she finally got away from Tamlin, I was like, okay, this is better, like, I can finally breathe. Feyre could finally breathe too after a certain point, and everyone says A Court of Mist and Fury is their favorite, and A Court of Silver Flames is like 10 times better, so I'm really excited to read A Court of Mist. I don't even know what I'm saying. This is just too much of a court and whatever is A Court of Silver Flames. Anyways, I don't have much to say about A Court of Mist and Fury besides that I love the romance. It was a 5 out of 5 stars for me. Definitely better than ACOTAR, and I would definitely recommend. I'm glad I trooped through the series. And then I read The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is also one of my vlogs, so if you want to hear more about that, go watch that. It was a quick read. I read it all in one sitting. I enjoyed how the prose and like how poetic it was, if that makes sense. I really resonated with the character. I loved Xiomara and everything that she went through. It's pretty relatable as a teenager who's in like a religion, and I don't know, I just really like the book. And finally, we're getting to March. So in March, I read 4 books, like I said, and I'm including 1 book that I finished on the first day of April, but like whatever. I read A Court of Wings and Ruin, and I don't know, I liked it better than ACOTAR, but at the same time, it was not my favorite of the series. I don't know, like, I wasn't excited by the war that was happening in the book, and I don't know, I felt like it kind of dragged for me. I think I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars, but I just love Feyre, and I love hearing about her journey. So then after that, I was like, okay, I need something else. I want romance, but I want like a heavy romance, and that's what I thought From Blood and Ash was going to give me by JLA. but at the same time it didn't give me complete romance, but I did end up really loving the book. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. And From Blood and Ash is about this girl named Poppy. She's a maiden. She's like the chosen one of the book, and I don't know, she's in this world where I really can't even describe it, to be honest, but you've probably heard of From Blood and Ash. And I really love the romance with Hawke. The book starts out with her meeting this guy in like this tavern she's not even supposed to be in, and she meets this guy, and then the next thing you know, he's her guard too. And the book was just so, it was like really fast paced for me after a certain point, like after 150 pages, 200 pages. It was really, really fast. I don't know why I'm not holding it up because I own the book. I forgot. But yeah, and I also have A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, which I plan to read in April. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this book. I don't annotate my books, but I wish I did. I should start annotating my books. I don't know. I'm probably never gonna reread it, which is why I'm not gonna annotate it. I don't know. Let me know why you annotate your books and why I should, because I see other people do it. I'm like, okay, I kind of want to, but then at the same time, I'm like, that's a lot of work. Anyways, she was chosen from birth to usher in a new era. Yeah, that describes her. I just didn't know why she was chosen. I know, like, her parents, something happened with her parents, and they found out she had these cool powers, and like, I don't know, I just love this fantasy. It was pretty good, 5 out of 5 stars. And then after I read From Blood and Ash, I was like, okay, I really want to read A Courtess of Flames, so let me finish all the books that I need to finish before that. So I read A Court of Frost and Starlight, and reading this book, it was kind of like meh. It was like, okay, I'm glad the court's rebuilding, the Night Court's rebuilding, like everything's fine, everyone's good. But that was about it. It was like a filler novel, and it is a novella, but I thought like I had to read this before I read A Courtess of Flames, but I don't know if I really have to. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. It was a cool 3 out of 5 stars. I found in one of my new comfort characters in my new comfort series, Fable by Adrienne Young. I did do a reading vlog on this, but I have to hype it up and mention it, but I really, really love this series. I mean, this duology, because I completed the series, and all I can say about Fable is that her mother passed away in a ship called the Lark, and her father is like a trader, and he owned the ship, and she drowned her somehow. And so her father's like, okay, I'm gonna leave you on this island called Javal, and if you survive and get off the island, then I'll give you your inheritance. So we follow Fable trying to get off this island at the beginning of the book, and we just follow her journey. And that's all I can really say. I did include spoilers in my vlog, so if you want to hear more about that, check it out here. But it was a cool 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed Fable and who she is and how sweet she is. And her father was like, yeah, you're not made for this world. And I really truly don't think she was made for this world, but she can adapt, and she is super strong. Like, the world was just so vicious and so cruel, and like everyone's out for themselves and no one's really a team. Like, even people are part of a crew on a ship, like, are they even really for each other, or are they just, it was like a money driven society, obviously. Like, I feel like that's how it is now in the real world, but in this book it was just like no one cared about anyone, literally. And just for someone to care about you, it was strange. Like, Saint had these 5 rules, like, don't tell anyone you're my daughter, don't do this, don't do that, and she like had to follow 5 rules, and it was just crazy. But yeah, I love this book. And then I finished Namesake a couple days ago, and I really loved it, but not as much as I love Fable. I feel like I love the characters, and the reason why I love Fable so much was because it was pretty much just her, and then there was like tiny conflicts, but in this book it's like huge conflicts that are happening one after the other, and most of it is kind of like, I thought it was like, oh, okay, they're pushing along the story, but ultimately I liked how it ended, and I can't talk about this too much because I would be giving it away if you haven't read Fable. But yeah, this was a cool 4 out of 5 stars, 4.5 I guess. And yeah, that's all I've read in the months of February and March, and I will be posting a April TBR, so look out for that. But I did kind of give you a hint of a couple books I'll be reading. Thank you for watching.